Hi, I'm Lingo, president of the Madisonville Hopkins County Chamber of Commerce, and you're watching the first ever episode of Chamber Spotlight. This is a show that was dreamed up by Rod Wilkerson and Greg Clark of Via Media. They came by the office one day and said, "Hey, Lee, we've got this great idea for a show we think you'll like." Basically, the concept is let's focus on spotlighting the Chamber of Commerce, its activities and events, and its membership. And this is not something that's been done before anywhere that I know of, so we were really excited to get involved. We hope that you'll enjoy this first episode. And now, a word from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Phil Terry, co-owner of Silver Star, formerly Backyard Burgers. We receive feedback from you, our customers, on adding a few lower-cost combos. Try our new chicken salad sandwich or turkey sandwich combo, paired with a side and a 20-ounce drink for only $4.99. We also have a BLT combo and a little burger combo, all for under $5, delivered with the same great service right to your table.
Silver Star, new face, same great food and service.
So there's a lot going on here at the Madisonville Hopkins County Chamber right now. We're currently taking our last applications for and filling the Leadership Hopkins County 2014 class. We're really excited about this project and this program. Every year it's been producing fantastic future leaders for the county. Oh, hey, look who's here. It's Dave from Dave's Sticky Pig. Hey, Dave.
Hello, Lee.
Good to have you today.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Well, thanks for stopping by. We love it when our members come by.
Okay, always glad to stop in. It's a fun place.
This is interesting because we're shooting our first Hometown TV Madisonville Chamber program.
Okay.
And you're one of their original advertisers.
I think so.
I'm curious, what has been your response to your advertisements that you've run?
I think it's brought me a lot of new customers. I think it has given me a chance to show what we do that's different from any of the other fine restaurants in Madisonville. And there are many good places to eat here. We all do things a little different. We all have a different area that we excel in. Mm-hmm. This is one form of advertising that allows me that other forms of media advertising don't. I have an opportunity to personalize the ad. Mm-hmm. And it's brought a lot of new customers. It's made me a minor celebrity where people come in and say, "Where's that guy that fixes those ribs? I want to know how to do it." And I've even had phone calls that say, "Your ad's not on anymore, and I bought these baby back ribs at the store. Can you tell me how to cook them?" And it's like, "Sure."
Well, that's really interesting. I know that's why Patricia and I stopped by one day. Greg from Via Media came by and was telling us about the concept for this show. And he said, "Let's sit out here and watch." And so we were watching the program, and you came on. And I think we watched the loop twice, and Patricia and I both looked at each other and said, "I know where we need to go for lunch."
That's great.
And I don't know if you remember, but we stopped in and were asking you about this.
Yes.
and kind of vetting the whole idea to see how successful it was. You think it's been a real positive experience for your business?
It's been positive enough that I did it again. We're going to do another episode on brisket.
Brisket? Oh, everybody loves brisket.
I think so. I want them to love our brisket. And I've enjoyed doing the show with Greg and Kim, and they've done a great job with helping me. I was very nervous. I was scared to death going into it. And they set me at ease. They kept saying, "You're doing fine. You're doing great." Kim worked her magic, and it made me look like I was somebody on TV.
A bona fide Food Network TV star, right?
Well, I don't know about that, but at least I didn't look like the Three Stooges.
So you came from a background in food service. You've been in Hopkins County for a long time.
Gosh, yes.
Before you opened Dave's Sticky Pig, you were...
I was with Number 9 Steakhouse and Backyard Burgers. Before that, I worked fast food with like Hardee's and Burger King. And back when I was 1978, I worked for Quick Pick Markets.
Really?
Older people around here will remember when pantries or kangaroos were called Quick Picks. I worked in the kitchen. I cooked fried chicken. I've pretty much, once I got into Hardee's, I decided that I loved the restaurant business. Mm-hmm. And I've stayed in it ever since.
And what brought you to barbecue and ultimately opening your own restaurant?
It's nice. It's slow-paced. I get a chance to do something I love. The hectic pressure of fast food, of multiple locations, of a drive-through, you're supposed to get the food out in 30 seconds. It's pressure. It's work. And I got to a point in life I was ready to relax. And barbecue is a relaxing food. It's a down-home food. We cook all night, every night, everything we cook is like my grandmother used to cook it. And many of our recipes come from my grandmother or people's grandmothers. That's great food. That's the way it should be.
Now, last time I was there, you had some gluten-free options?
We do. Quite a few. We've made all of our sauces but one gluten-free. Chicken salad is gluten-free. Most of our side items, except for the pasta, is gluten-free. And there are many. Barbecue's not an unhealthy food. As it cooks, the juices or the fat cooks out. We limit the salt in many of the products, and it's not unhealthy.
You actually mentioned to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you had some vegetarian offerings at one time.
We tried, but it didn't work out real well. I might do it again, but I don't think people go to a barbecue joint to eat vegetarian food.
I just think that's very forward-thinking that you would offer gluten-free, which is currently the hot food, and even vegetarian, when, again, people think barbecue, they think ribs and brisket and pork and not necessarily just vegetables, but your vegetables are fantastic.
Thank you. But what if you and your wife eat out, what if she's a vegetarian and we don't have an option for her, then you're not going to eat with us.
Yeah.
You're going to go somewhere else. And if we don't have kids' meals, then, you know, your kids sometimes control where you go eat. And having the opportunity to get on TV and talk about kids' meals or vegetarian options or gluten-free options, it's a lot more than I could do in any other form of media.
And you even cater?
Yes, we do. We do. And haven't yet found one that was too big. We cook whole hogs on occasion. And it's kind of fun to see a whole pig laid out on the smoker and cook him overnight and sit down there and babysit all night long. And it's exciting for us.
Now, there's something that people may not know about is you do special events like for Thanksgiving. I personally had him prepare some ham burnt ends for Thanksgiving, and they were amazing. But you do turkeys as well?
We do turkeys. We have a special smoker that we can do venison. We can do wild turkeys. We can do, you know, whatever
all the
you might
seasonal
have.
Things.
Yep. And we do holiday packages where we do sweet potato casserole and pecan pies, all the things you like at Christmas and Thanksgiving. And that's part of the fun of the passion of cooking, that you don't like to do the same thing every day. And so we try to vary the menu. We have specials from time to time and special desserts by day, and we make our soups from scratch, and we do 2 or 3 different soups a week. And it works out fun for us, and as long as I'm enjoying it and my customers come in and enjoy it, then I'm happy.
And you have some cruise-ins left still?
We do, probably 2 more. We'll do one the first week of September, first Saturday in September, and then probably the first Saturday in October. And that'll just about end it, I think, because I think the weather will get too bad.
And since we've talked to you about everything else, what are your hours in case somebody doesn't know and they want to go eat?
We open at 11, but we're always there by 6:30 or 7 in the morning, and we can open up earlier than that. We close at 8 o'clock on Monday through Thursday, 9 on Friday and Saturday, and we close at 5 on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the closing times because I always eke in at the last second, and we're the last ones there, but that's just our schedule. We're funny that way.
And we offer Sunday specials where it comes with 2 sides and a dessert and some chicken and some pork, and we only do that one day a week. And usually it's really popular for us on Sundays.
Well, I'm excited you stopped by because I've talked with you, but I think our viewers would be really interested, especially chamber members and members in the business community, as to what the benefits of this new Hometown TV Madisonville is and what it's all about. They've seen your ad, they've seen other ads, and it's nice to hear from you in this format what it's been a benefit to you.
Thanks for asking me to come. I mean, it gave me a chance to say how proud I am to be part of the community in Madisonville. And there's always people who say there's nothing to do in Madisonville. And things like Hometown TV, you only have to watch it for a short time to know that there's a lot to do in Madisonville. And not just restaurants, there's many other activities. And I think that's a wonderful way to advertise our community.
I agree. Hey, Dave, thank you very much for coming by. I appreciate it.
Oh, hello. I'm Dave from Sticky Pig Barbecue in Madisonville. Just checking on my pork shoulders here. These have been cooking for about 6 hours. I got a brisket that's about 3/4 of the way done. It needs about 6 more hours. Remember we did ribs a month ago? Today we're going to talk about cooking some beef brisket. Brisket comes from a cow. We use an Angus beef, and the brisket is the front part of the cow. Brisket was once described to me as dinosaur tongue. You can see it's a giant piece of meat. This one's probably a good 20-22 pounds. A lot of fat, a lot of very white fat on the outside, not marbled like a good ribeye. Even when you flip it over, you can see the very lean meat, but it's also got a lot of fat. Our friend Brian will cut off this big piece of fat here. You'll see how big it is in a minute. We'll cut off a little here, but we won't do much to the other side. There's two parts to a brisket. There's the flat end, which you can see it's thinner. The grain runs this way, and this part works beautiful for slicing. Get to this end, there's another section here. The grain still runs, but there's an alternate piece that runs this way. This is very fatty, and it's much better for pulling and for burnt ends. Okay, I'm going to flip this back over and give it to Brian. First thing he'll do is level the top of it just so that it's about the same height across. Fat is flavor. In this business, you don't want to cut off too much fat, but you don't want to leave it on there too much either. The rest of this, a lot of it will render down. We'll cook it skin side up at first so the juices will cook through, and then after we wrap it, we'll turn it skin side down so the juices stay in there. That's looking good, Brian. Where the ribs, we were not much rub on the ribs. Brisket, you can put a lot of rubs on it. Where ribs don't cook very long, brisket cooks a long time. And I've seen a lot of people that just dust it on. Some other people believe you should massage it in. I think if you do what he's doing, you sprinkle it on, then you spread it out evenly. Within a few minutes, it'll soak in to where that it looks wet and it won't fall off. It's important that every bit gets covered and rubbed, and as it soaks through, as the grease renders down, it gives it that much more flavor. It ends up coming out like a nice piece of steak with that kind of seasoning, that kind of tenderness. We flip it with you here. We'll roll it over without losing too much. Now all this fat, if there's too much fat, that's one of the reasons we cut it. The rub won't go through the fat, and it ends up being wasted as it cooks off. But when you sprinkle it on, this thinner cap of fat on this end, as the fat melts down, since we cook it fat side up, it'll cook through the meat. You end up with flavor all the way through. Now we'll put this on the smoker. We'll try to get it between 12-15 hours of smoke using hickory and oak. Then we'll wrap it in saran wrap, let it cook for another 5-6 hours, and we'll end up with something 20 hours. When it's about 195 degrees, it's done. And that's what we shoot for, is the temperature at the fat end, about 195. A little less than that for the sliced end. If we're going to do sliced brisket, we'll bring it out just a little pinker than that. Okay, you can see the nice juices in it. You can see the grill marks where it's been on the grill, the bark from our seasoning you saw us put on earlier. It's ready to be wrapped, and then it'll set and hold the juices in for several more hours. Okay. Now there's no special prep to this other than wrapping it. Roll that over for you. And the saran wrap doesn't burn. It's like we use with our ribs. We keep it about 220 or so for brisket. Where ribs cooked a little warmer, we like brisket between 200 and 220. The saran wrap is a secure wrap around the outside. You can still see the bark, but it'll hold in all the juice. This is our finished brisket. It's been cooking about 24 hours, and it's rested for a few hours to let the juices come back in it. Got this piece here that's cut off. We're going to slice one end of our brisket, make some nice little slices. We don't normally serve sliced brisket, but if you ever want sliced brisket from us, if you give us a day's notice, we'll be happy to get all you need. See the smoke ring of the brisket? The red color doesn't mean it's undercooked. That's the smoke from the wood and the hickory and the oak wood. Got a nice bark, a seasoning on the outside. Then the meat is very tender and juicy. You can see the juice all in it. Brisket is a very, very lean piece of meat, but it also has a lot of fat in it. And it's sliced brisket, I think, is wonderful. It tastes the same as pulled brisket, but it sure is pretty. Okay, now that's what sliced brisket looks like. I'm going to turn it over to my friend Brian here, and we're going to make some ready for burnt ends. A lot of people in Kentucky don't know what burnt ends are. Burnt ends are really not burnt. They're double smoked beef brisket. Got a layer of fat in the middle that when we put it back on the smoker, that'll smoke off. Brisket can be very, very tough. When we first got into the barbecue business, I ruined a lot of brisket before I learned how to do it. But now it can be just very, very tender. It's in nice big chunks. We'll put it back on the smoker for a few hours. It'll absorb some extra smoke and some extra seasoning. The fat will render out of it, and it'll make a delicious finger food. Okay, that's plenty for burnt ends. Would you like to cut some of that up, and then we'll show them how we pull it by hand to shred it. And that's what we use for our sandwiches. That you can see where he's got it cut. He's going to pull it apart by hand, and the nice little pieces that fit nicely on a plate or on a sandwich, and it just fall apart tender. Now I'm ready to eat. This is our beef brisket plate that we just fixed, fresh off the smoker. We heat it in a cast iron skillet. Make sure it's nice and warm when you get it. Got potato salad. We put a little fresh dill in to season it just right. It's a mustard-based potato salad. We cook our green beans overnight in a slow cooker. It's got a lot of smoked ham. Got some pork jowl in it. Little onion, little garlic, little potatoes. Dave's Sticky Pig, Madison Square Drive. We do everything from scratch, like your grandmother used to do it. I don't want to be better than your grandmother. I just want to be better than all the other restaurants that you can have.
I'm here with Craig Questelle of Madisonville Ford Nissan, and we're talking about what's going on at the dealership. Craig, why don't you enlighten us a little bit about what all this construction's about?
Sure. Well, Lee, we bought the store a little over 2 years ago, and part of our long-term plan was to invest in the facility here to make it more modern, more inviting to the community. So we just completed the showroom portion of it. We'll be now working on our body shop and our service departments, and of course paving the lot and putting in all new lights and making it a lot more modern and a lot more inviting for the customers.
Inside, it's going to be quite a bit different, right?
Absolutely. We actually tore the old showroom down. We had talked about remodeling it, but because of some structural issues and we wanted to put modern tile in and some other things we wanted to do to give it a little more space, we tore it down. So the showroom is from the basically old shop forward is all brand new. So we have a much higher ceiling. We got 18-foot ceilings now. The showroom is very much specifically designed for a Ford dealership. So it has a Ford tile, the Ford fixtures and that sort of thing. And then the Nissan showroom has Nissan tile, Nissan fixtures. So depending on how you look at the showroom, you're definitely in either a Nissan or a Ford, not just a blanket dealership now with the old blue and white tile that really didn't represent either brand very well. So.
Now, as a customer who's getting work done or waiting for our wife or husband to buy a car, you have a pretty nice new waiting area.
Yeah, we really expanded that. We basically tripled the size of our old waiting area, so it is not only larger, but it has more modern amenities. And we have Wi-Fi, of course, but we also have a 58-inch flat screen television. And we have a little area for kids that can go play. They're out of the waiting area in their own little area with different types of toys for the kids.
So there's a place out front that some of our viewers may be interested in that looks like it's open. Can you explain what that is? It's on the Island Ford side.
Yeah. When you first look at it, it looks like it may be a service drive. There's 2 drive-through lanes that we put in because a lot of times in the car business, when you take delivery, you want to look at a car, it's raining or the weather's not exactly perfect for looking at a new car. So those areas are designed to get customers out of the weather, that they can look at the vehicles in a lit area, covered, and also for our deliveries. So when we say goodbye to our new customers, that they, can leave in a controlled environment. They don't have to take delivery of their car when it's wet and rainy, that sort of thing. So it just gives us a little extra something to differentiate us from the other dealerships. A lot of Ford and Nissan dealerships now, they're really pushing for everybody to have kind of a cookie cutter approach, and that's why we wanted to make ours different in some way that they still could live with. And that was the one way we were able to do it, to make our differentiate us from the other dealerships.
I think it's going to be great. I've been seeing the work on the lot, and it looks like they've paved part of it, and they'll be paving other parts. The new lights, you've repositioned your flagpole. It seems like it's going to be, from the road, it's going to be quite a bit different looking dealership, especially when the long term.
Yeah. It's interesting, when that facility was built 40 years ago, it was facing would that be the west, I guess. No, I'm sorry, it'd be facing east. And at that time, the Pennyroyal Parkway was not at all what it is today. And they thought all the growth will come from the Pennyroyal. Well, as you know, Lowe's across the street, Kroger across the street. Island Ford Road is really the busy area. So we're kind of facing the wrong way as far as frontage goes and showing our best foot forward to the customer. But when you go by now, you're going to see the modern facility, you're going to see the modern lot, the modern lighting, and of course, we've never been shy about getting inventory. And we've actually ordered about 100 more new cars.
Really?
And we're going to have about 50 more used cars than we normally have. So we're going to have around 300, 350 vehicles available when we have our grand reopening, which will be October 3rd.
Well, that's exciting because I know Nissan has rolled out a lot of very fuel-efficient cars, which is very timely right now and at a good price point. And it seems like Ford has got a new model showing up pretty much every month.
We've got a great complement of product. I mean, Ford trucks have long been a leader in the industry, and they've come a long way with their cars. And conversely, Nissan's always made a dynamic car, safe car, fun to drive, and they've brought their truck products up. So we really are in a real good position to take advantage of the marketplace, whether you have an import leaning or you're more of a domestic type of person. We got a little bit of something for everybody.
Well, you mentioned the grand reopening.
Yes.
You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Really in the planning stages now. My lovely wife, Amy, is going to be in charge of that. I kind of stay out of that kind of thing. She's the party planner, if you will. On October 3rd, we hope to have everything done by then. It's kind of been a work in progress, obviously, in getting everything coordinated. But on October 3rd, we're going to begin a weekend-long celebration to have a grand reopening. To celebrate, we're hoping to have, of course, you out with a chamber after hours, some kind of a chamber ribbon cutting event.
Sure.
Something on Friday. The manufacturers' reps will be in town to kind of,
great.
Walk through the building, make sure that they're being represented well. And then over the weekend, we're going to have a car show on Saturday with some local car clubs that will bring out some old Fords, even some old Datsuns, if you will.
Oh, cool.
And that way people can see the old and the new all in one place.
Well, I think it's exciting. I've been watching the progress from the sidelines, and I've known you for a while, and it's great. When your dealership is done, all of our dealers that are members of the chamber and that are local to this area will have a brand new face. And what to me is really great is you don't have to go north and you don't have to go south. If you want that big car shopping experience and you want the glitz and glam of a new dealership, you can get it at Madisonville Ford Nissan. I mean, everything you'll need is right there.
We like to say we have the small town deal, not the big city steal. So.
Well, that's great. That's great. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you'll come out and enjoy the grand opening. Stop by and say hi to Craig, see the lot, see the salesmen, look at the cars. They're really nice cars. And I know that because I joke with Craig. I think I've driven almost everything that they have to offer. I've been putting off purchasing for a while.
Every time we get a new performance car, you make some comment about, well, that would look good at the chamber office.
Yes, it would. The last one was a Mustang that I wanted to be the chamber car, but he wouldn't give it to me at the right price. So free is my right price. Yeah. But anyway, thanks again.
There was room, but not that much.
Thanks for coming out. I appreciate it, and we're looking forward to seeing all the great progress.
Hi folks, I'm Craig Questelle from Madisonville Ford Nissan. I'm the managing partner and I've been in the business about 25 years. People are still asking me constantly, hey Craig, how do we get a great car deal? Well, one of the things you need to know before you step foot on a car dealership is, what's my vehicle worth? How to get the most for your trade, because that's really how you get a great deal. So today I'm going to talk about 4 things that you really need to do before you come to a car dealership to find out about your trade value. The first thing you want to do is turn yourself into the buyer. If you were going to be buying your used car, what would be important to you? Well, a lot of times now people are asking about Carfax or AutoCheck. Run a Carfax on your own vehicle to see the vehicle history so that you know exactly what the car dealerships are looking at and what potential new customers are going to be looking at when they look at your car. Along those same lines are your maintenance records. Of course, a lot of people keep maintenance records in their glove box, but on Carfax, a lot of dealerships like Madisonville Ford Nissan do report to Carfax whenever any kind of maintenance is done, any kind of repair is done on your vehicle, so it's all right there in a non-threatening, in an independent third-party way, which is very important to potential customers. So those maintenance records are very important. Also along the same lines, if there's anything that you've done that adds value to your vehicle, i.e. brakes, tires, anything like that, bring that in because that's also very, very important to the value of your vehicle. The next thing you want to do is you want to run a third-party evaluation of what trade value is. Some people do NADA. We typically use KBB because it's more in line with the actual retail market. But run a KBB and be honest when you put the numbers in of what the condition of your vehicle is in so that you can get an accurate picture of what the trade-in value would be. Along those same lines, condition of the vehicle, Spend the money to get your car either professionally cleaned or do it yourself. A clean car always brings more money. You can imagine if you came to a car dealership and looked at a dirty car, it would make you have questions about, well, how's this car been maintained? What else is wrong with this car? So those kind of things can all help you and make the most out of your trade-in value. And of course, why not start right here at Madisonville Ford Nissan? We'll be glad to give you a no obligation free trade-in appraisal at our brand new facility right here on Island Ford Road here in Madisonville. Come on by and ask for me. I'm Craig Questelle again. So we'd love to see you at our brand new facility right here in Madisonville. Thanks for your time.
And here's a list of upcoming events from the Chamber. Thursday, September 12th, Leadership Hopkins County Orientation from 4 to 5 p.m. at the Chamber office. Monday, September 16th, there's a ribbon cutting and open house for the Minority Economic Development Council. Their office is located at the Chamber at 15 East Center Street, and the event will be held from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. September 24th, there will be an after hours at Phillips Studio and Company in Hanson. It's located at 17 Sunset Road and will be held from 5 to 7 p.m. Thursday, October 3rd, there's a State of Education Hot Topic Lunch sponsored by MCC and an after hours at Madisonville Ford Nissan from 5 to 7 p.m. Tuesday, October 15th is the I-69 Development Conference held at the Ballard Center. It starts at 8:30 and goes till 4 with a reception following until 5 p.m. November 8th through the 9th is the Chamber Holiday Open House. Wednesday, November 27th is the Farm City Breakfast at 6:30 a.m. at the Greater Lighthouse Pentecostal Church. This is the 38th annual Farm City Breakfast. Also, I'd like to spotlight renewing members for this month: Personal Finance Company, Regional Senior Citizens Center, Wendy's, Hospice of Western Kentucky, Thrifty Home Medical, Green River Colliers LLC, Rogers Jewelers, Subway, Brighton Cornerstone Healthcare, and Huck's number 364. We have a lot of great events coming up. We hope to see you there. Thanks for watching our first episode. See you soon.